よし。なんか BGM が変わった。なんだろうこれ。こっから入ってんのか。戻るか一回。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
うん。オルゴールが地下室の鍵になってたんですよね、確か。
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
なるほど。
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
どこだっけ、オルゴール。これか。あ、取れた。おお、開いた。ここが地下室か。
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
へえ。なんか隠してたんですかね、お母さんは。この地下室に。
I
暗
saw
い。
Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
イーディって誰だ？なんだこれ、サンドバッグか。
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
なんだこれ。何の音だ？
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
なんか。
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
なるほど。ウォルター。
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
うん。
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
こんな便利な缶切りあるのか。いいな、なん
Having a
か。
schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if
何
you
の
wait
振
long
動だこれ。
enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
ドアの向こうに化け物がいる
Almost
のか。
friendly.
毎日この桃の缶詰食べてたのか。
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or
振
maybe
動が
I
なくな
just
ったの
got
か。
tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
30年。
I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
?30 年ここで暮らしてたのか、ホルターは。どうやって開けるんだこれ。こうか。地下室にさらに地下室があったのか。
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
うん、武器がある。
Maybe this is all a mistake.
お、なんだ。
But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
うわ、電車が来てる。ウォルターはそうやって死んだのか。
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
へえ。ウォルターが死んだ時はすでに主人公生まれてたんですね。なるほど。
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
とりあえず行ってみるか。
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
ここゴミ捨て場なのか。うわ、ハエが飛んでる。
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself
うん。
and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse. We made it real.
あ、ウォルターの墓がここにあるのか。
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
これは主人公の日記なんですね。なるほど。
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
なんだこれ。
And the history you're a part of.
この中に入るわけじゃないのか。なんだこれ、びっくりした。あ、こっち行ける。
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
家より先に墓地を建て終える。
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
ここが
3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
ここが家族の墓なのか。全部カエルがある1個だけ。
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
ウォルター・フィンチ、イーディ・フィンチ、セブン・フィンチ、バーバラ・フィンチか。
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
ああ、これが昔の家なのか。昔のフィンチ家。なるほどね。 家に帰ればいいのかこの後。
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday.
お母さんももう死んでるんですかね。この感じお母さんももう死んでますね。
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
妊娠22日目なのか主人公。妊娠してるのか。危ないだろ妊娠でその感じは。登れるかここ。無理か。あ、はしごがありますね。こっちから行くのか。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
「懐中電灯が欲しいな」。とりあえず見るか。
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
お、動かせる。
What?
これはサムの娘なのかな。
It's too early, Dad. Okay.
間違えた。プロパン。なんだ、どうすればいいんだこれ。あ、これ写真撮れるのか。
Just wanna get a shot of you, Dawn. Then we
な
can
るほ
take
ど。
off.
全然操作の説明とかなかったから今。
Perfect.
写真撮らないといけなかったのか今。
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
なるほど、娘の写真を
Pictures okay?
撮っていかない
Just
と
be
いけないん
careful.
ですね。
The camera's older than you are.
Aw.
なんかいい感じです
You're
ね
right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Nothing quite
Oh,
like
ita.
being outside.
Hmm.
Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
他のものを取らないといけないのか。なんだろう
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man,
これか
that
な
was a great trip.
あ、違った。
Your grandpa's Fen taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Let's see.
なんだこれ。何の写真撮ればいいんだ。
Was it? Could have been. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
.とりあえず適当に撮っていくか。
Dad!
Eyes, Don.
なるほど。そういうことか。
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
今度は娘の写真を撮るんですかね。うん。あ、いた。
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don!
おお。ちゃんと当たってる。泣いてる。
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
sick.
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about.
うわっ、こんな死に方したのか。
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
サム、こんな死に方したのか。ちょっと面白かったな、今の。結構ホラーチックな死に方してる人もいれば、なんかこういうちょっとギャグっぽい面白い死に方してる人もいるんですね。
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
うん。なるほど。屋根裏部屋ですかね、ここは。
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
うん。お母さんの父親がサムなんですかね。おじいちゃんなのか、だからサムはこの主人公にとっては。
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
今度は赤ちゃん。
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
なんだこれ。
Hand over, Gregory. It's time to. Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
へえ、楽しそうだな、なんか。
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy.
「面白い、なんだこれ。」難しいな、ちょっと。
I know how silly it sounds. But I'm worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
このまま死ぬのか、グレゴリー。
she could have told us about the world he saw.
ああ、なるほど。これで水位が上がって溺れちゃうのか。
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
ああ。サムの息子がグレゴリーなのか。でもグレゴリーは子供の時に死んだのか。
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
お。
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
ガスって読むのか。お母さんの弟ですかね、ガスは。赤いモヒカン。ロッククライミングみたいになってる。ボルダリングか。
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
妊娠22ヶ月なんだよな、主人公。こんなん
At the
して
time,
大丈夫
it
か。
was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
これがお父さんとお母さんの写真なんですね、じゃあ。お父さんはサンジェイ、お母さんはドーンかな。
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
ルイス。主人公の兄弟かってことはルイスは。
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
てか広いな、フィンチ家って。やっぱこうしてみるといろんな部屋がありますね。お。
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Milton.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton どっかに入り口があるのか。ここか。いい部屋だな、ここなんか。
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
パラパラ漫画になってる。今ので終わり。ミルトンの話。そうやって消えたってことか、ミルトン。イーディは主人公か。いや違うか。なんて読むんだろう、主人公の名前。まあいいか。自分が描いた絵の中に消えたってことか、ミルトン。
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. whatever Milton had found in the house. Mom didn't want it getting out.
Oh, こっちは何もないか。
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Luis.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
なんかトロフィーゲットしましたね。より近くで見る。不安定なところにあるな、ルイスの部屋。船をここに持ってきたのか。なんだこれ、こっから入るのか。あ、なるほど。
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Louis Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January,
ルイスは
shortly
薬
after we
物を使っ
convinced
て
your
たん
son
で
to
すね。
seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
なんだ、どうするんだこ
He
れ。
kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself.
なるほど。こうすんのか。
In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
なんだこれ。怖っ、ちょっと。幻覚が見えてるのか。
wander.
あ、これ動かせるのか。
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small.
上から行くとどうなるんだろう。あ、魚が溜まってくるから、魚が溜まってくると見えなくなるのかこれ。なんだこれ。魚もさばいていかないといけないのか。めんどくさこれ。よし。
Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
もう本当に迷路になってるなこれ。
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. これ難しいな。魚をさばきながらこっちの迷路みたいなのやっていくの。なんだこの骨、
化石か？
and things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
それ以上のもの。
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
新しい友達。
On the edge of a city he named Lewis.
ルイストピア。犬の名前ですかね。
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. Songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him.
なんだこれ。
All the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor.
急に市長選挙。
And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
全部ルイスがついてるのか、国の名前に。
He started drifting away from our reality.
もうこれ全部幻覚なのか、ルイスが見てる。
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
やばいな、もうルイス。幻覚から戻ってこれなくなったのか。一生魚を切断するだけの。
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
右に行ってみるか。
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
蛇の方に行ってみるか。邪悪な蛇。
Sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
まだ続くのかこれ。
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
めっちゃ魚が来た。
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
これ魚をさばきながらだから
Someone who'd never known
なんかフラ
success
フラ
in
し
the
ちゃう
real
な。
world. I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
もう現実に戻ってこれなくなったのかルイスは。
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
お、なんか現実に急に戻ってきた。ここはどこだ？缶詰工場か。
Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
あれがルイスか。
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
.何も魚も何もないのに手だけ動かしてる。もう末期だな。この上に
I
行くの
still
か。
thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
お、
The
今
palace
度
would
は
be packed with his companions.
宮殿に戻ってきた。
including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown.
これが女王か。
There was only one thing left to do.
みんな顔がないです
Bend
ね。
down his head.
これギロチンだろ死ぬのかフィン、死ぬのかこのまま。うわっ
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
自殺したのかルイスは。
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
ルイスはだから主人公の兄なんですね。3人兄弟か。よし、ちょっとキリがいいんで今日はこの辺で終わりにします。ありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。